Hi Scorpio, welcome to Hoodie Priestess Tarot. I'm Jodine, your host. All right, so we're going to do a Celtic Cross spread for you today, and it's a Celtic Cross spread that I have been devising for myself. So I think I'm going to call it Hoodie Priestess Cross is what I'm going to call it. And then before we end the reading, we'll follow up with an oracle card from the Akashic Record Oracle deck. Okay, so let us begin. I hope everything's going well for you. When you get this reading, it'll be Friday. We'll be headed into the weekend. So I hope you have a wonderful weekend, Scorpio, and that your weather is good. We're having gorgeous weather here, punctuated by heavy downpours. Okay, so card number 0 in your reading is the Six of Pentacles. And that is going to set the tone or the theme for the reading. Now we'll go on with the rest of the layout. So the Six of Pentacles would be a card of generosity, or a card of giving and receiving, or a card of getting what we're worth or not. We'll see how it turns out. Okay, Scorpio, this represents you in the reading. You're the Queen of Cups. That's good, because the Queen of Cups is your elemental queen, the Queen of Water. What's crossing you is Temperance, Sagittarius. Major Arcana card number 14. Okay, where you have been in the past is the Queen of Wands. We've got a lot of queens here. Where you would like to be headed is the Eight of Cups. All right. What you have mastered in your life is the Six of Swords. What you're working on is the Empress. How you see yourself, Scorpio, is the Five of Cups. How others see you, Strength, card of Leo. Now the next two cards are the best and the worst case scenarios, or the best and the worst facets of your outlook. So this is the first one. It's the best. Okay, Three of Swords. And the worst, Page of Swords. And now the next three cards are a possible outcome. So here we go. Here's one of them. The Devil, the Queen of Pentacles, and the last card is the Nine of Cups. And the card on the bottom of the deck is the Emperor. And those are the cards in your spread. Scorpio, I see the person that I'm reading for here is in deep pain. I'd say they're in grief about a loss in their life. But before I go on with that, I want to let you know that the other zodiacal energies that are very heavy in this reading are, you have all the fire signs here. You have Sagittarius, you have Aries, and you have Leo on the table. And you also have Capricorn. The Empress is here, and the Empress is ruled by the planet Venus, and Taurus is ruled by the planet Venus. So you have a lot of fire, and you have some earth influencing here. So a lot of passion and an explosion of passion, but then also some groundedness. You're not going to go up in a puff of smoke. However passionate you may be feeling at this time, you're grounded enough. I think you can hang on. I hope that's a consolation to you, because it looks like you've suffered a loss. The Scorpio I'm looking at does. And they're very, very emotional. You know, when we're looking at the Queen of Cups, she's somebody who can listen to other people's emotions. Okay? Either you have suffered a loss, or you are dealing very intimately with someone who has. Or maybe that's true of both of you. Maybe you both have suffered a grievous loss and you're dealing with each other. Because here we have the Queen, who is the confidant. Someone you can come to with your deepest feelings. But she also can be a queen who is over emotional, or going through an over emotional time in her life. And what's crossing her is Sagittarius, moderation. The card that would ask us to have moderation and patience, and the card that would remind us it's me again. If there was any funk there, I had to cut off. I had an urgent call coming in. I had to take it. So anyway, that's done. Now, where did I leave off? We've got Sagittarius. Sagittarius is our challenge. So in the midst of the enormous emotion that we're dealing with, one way or another here, we have a call to notice that we are angelically guided. Can you see the spirit in the background? So patience, moderation, and have faith that you are watched over and protected by angelic forces. That's a lot. I'll just let you sit with that a minute. Somebody is unconditionally got you under their wing. In the past, we had quite an exuberant Scorpio. When we talk about the Queen of Wands, if we are seeing ourselves as the Queen of Wands, we are seeing ourselves as a very vivacious, charismatic, fiery, passionate person. Beautiful, striking, creative, possibly a little witchy. But that's how we were feeling in the past. And what we had mastered was the ability to move away from troubling thoughts. For some reason, we were having troubling or discomforting thoughts, and we had mastered the art of moving on from them. So I feel like you have already had some pain or some disturbance, some mental discomfort in the past. And on top of that, there has been another grievous thing happen. I wonder if it's a death. Are you grieving the death of a loved one? I'm kind of getting the feeling it is. And that's because I'm jumping the gun here a little bit. But the reason I feel that way is because this is how you are seeing yourself. Now, this is the Five of Cups. This is someone who is in grief. It doesn't have to be grief over the death of a person, but it seems to me that it is. Okay, I'm getting a little ahead of myself. So in the past, you had mastered the art of being able to calm your thoughts. Okay? Now, what you're working on, I think, is feeling abundant, maybe feeling comfortable in your own skin, maybe feeling comfortable with yourself and your surroundings and your life as it is, being able to relax and enjoy the abundance that's in your life. You've been through some turmoil, the nature of which I'm not exactly sure. Now this one is pregnant looking. She's the Empress, of course. She's mother. Now, I don't know if this is literal. Are you working on getting pregnant? Maybe some of you are. Okay? And maybe some of you aren't. There's a lot to the Empress that's not just pregnancy. That she's a very, like I said, very comfortable with herself and her surroundings, relaxed, ready to take it all in, creative, very productive, very at peace. And I think this is what you're still working on. Okay. And how you see yourself in the future is walking away from disappointment or from things that failed or something. Because there's 8 cups in this picture that she's walking away from. You can't see them all, can you? Because some of them have sunk completely to the bottom. You can see little shadows of them in this area. One right here is in the process of sinking. She's walking away and leaving 1 cup afloat. There's a little flame yet of emotion for something. Something that she once loved. But she knows that it failed somehow for some reason. And all she can do is walk away. And I think it's hard for her. It's hard for her. Which brings us to how you see yourself. You see yourself as in grieving, in mourning. There's been some loss. How other people see you is somebody who's very strong, Scorpio. I don't know who these other people are, but when other people look at you, they see somebody who's mastered her shadows, his shadows, her or his animal nature, and somebody who is a very strong character, strength of endurance. And the best and the worst case scenario is kind of bleak here too, because best case scenario, we have a broken heart. And that looks to me the way this one is, that we can release our emotions. Look at the woman here. She is releasing her pain. And when you look at the turbulence of the environment around her, it's dark and it's murky and maybe there's some wind there and some storm. I think that's a good reflection of her inner world that she's able to release. So I think that goes back again to our queen. Who can occupy the realm of emotion. Worst case scenario is that there's a kind of, it almost seems to me like these two could be interchanged, best and worst case scenario. What order should they come in? Because this one looks to me like a renewal, almost. It's a page. It's somebody who's young. But this page in particular is one who is learning. It's learning so much and wants to learn. Look at all the new ideas. It's kind of blurry, but can you see the light bulbs? All the new ideas? And some form of that learning is liberating for this person. Look at the bird. Look at the wind. The mind is being liberated here. We can scream our pain out into the storm and become liberated in our thoughts, which you've been mastering. You're the master of this, Scorpio. Possible outcome. We have 3 cards here. In this order, we had the Devil, we have the Queen of Pentacles, and we have the 9 of Cups. I love the way the 9 of Cups is here. So the Devil would represent a toxic attachment. It could be a toxic attachment to our grief. I mean, we're going to grieve our grievances, right? If we have reason to grieve, we have reason to grieve. Who's to tell us how it gets done? Now, I want to bring you back here, though, to the 5 of Cups, which is how you see yourself. How does this one look? I know traditionally, the 5 of Cups is 3 cups are spilt onto the ground, and the person stands grieving the loss of those cups. But behind the person, 2 cups still stand upright. It looks to me here like 4 cups are spilled, but there is, I can't clearly make out what is in that void. Is it an egg? Is it a new beginning? Is it a full cup? It's hard for me to make out what that is. But it's not over. There's still, when your grieving is done, you rise up and there's still something there for you. There still is a life to explore. So we have the attachments. We have the grief that we're attached to, possibly. Isn't it? It looks like grief is what we're attached to here. And there's an invitation there to grieve endlessly. It holds its hand out to you. It's beautiful, isn't it? Come. Come, get lost in me. Eternally. With the Devil. But somebody here is grounded, is down to earth, is the Queen of Pentacles, knows the value of herself and her life, and is pre-empress herself. There's a big similarity between these 2 cards. This one can see the abundance and all the treasure of her life and can rejoice in it and can care for herself and can say, there's a time and a place for grief. But if I'm really caring for myself, if I really love unconditionally myself, then I must be able to get up and see the abundant beauty in the world and my abundant beauty in this world and everything that is good and part of my life. And that it's a balance. Let's come back to our theme card here. Equal give and take. The 6 of Pentacles is very much about balance. Now, if you think about this card in the Rider-Waite-Smith, a wealthy person with scales in his hand is out on the street giving money to beggars. He's weighing out what he gives. He's weighing. It's kind of sick in a way. He's weighing the worth of who should get what. What is each person worth? But we don't have to stick on that. We can stick on the balance aspect of this card. To everything, turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. There's a time for crying. There's a time for grief. And then there's a time to count our blessings and to live in the vibrant, green, beautiful world. And with the 9 of Cups is a reminder of how far we have come. The 9 isn't yet the 10, but the 9 has gone through 9 cups of emotional experience and is a very well-seasoned person. Look at this person bursting free. Where's the card with the bird? The bird, learning, freedom, liberation. Do you see the liberation in this card? It's like a liberation of the heart. Where is the glowing centered? It's centered in the heart. The person itself symbolizes liberation after a long tour on the road of emotions. Oh my goodness. Was that a sermon? Did I just give you a sermon? Well, be that as it may. What's on the bottom of your deck is the Emperor, card of Aries. What does he do? He takes control. He takes authority. He says what's going to happen. He's the boss. He's the boss of all bosses. He knows when we have grieved long enough, and when it's time now to do something else, he will give a very authoritative order that it be done. Below decks, what do we have? The Queen of Swords, another one. The Queen of Swords is the queen of saying enough is enough. The Queen of Swords knows when to cut something off. When it no longer serves you, you may be the wounded warrior. And the wounded warrior is stubborn until the very end. They will not give up. They have suffered the Ten of Swords, the bloody, bloody Ten of Swords. But alas, there is still hope. There is still long-term healing, Scorpio. There is the star. And a reminder here underneath that of the card of the Three of Pentacles, the card of collaboration. It is the card of getting support if you need it. So let's just say it. There is no shame in asking for help. If our grief is too heavy to bear, we can ask for help, and there's nothing wrong with that. No need to go it alone. Because underneath that, then we have the Hierophant. The Hierophant is the spiritually enlightened one. The Hierophant could be, you know, clergy or somebody who can give counsel if we need it. Okay, my dear, let's look at your Akashic Record Oracle card and see what we have. All right. Scorpio is dealing with a lot of emotion now, and could use the advice, good advice, from the Akashic Record Oracle deck, which I think is full of good advice. All right. For Scorpio, thank you. Let's see what we get. Study. Study. A new endeavor is upon you, and it may require new knowledge and skills. Put the intention out to the universe, and the right teacher will soon find you. And you know what that reminds me of? I'll show you. Bear with me. It reminds me of these three things here. Here's the page, who's studying and learning. Here's the card of collaboration. So that is the request for help. Here's the spiritually enlightened one, could be a teacher. cards were already here. Okay, my dear. I hope this reading helped in some way. If nothing else, to let you know that you were seen and that you're not alone. You're not alone. Not at all. Okay, Scorpio. Until we meet again, take care of yourself, and I love you. And bye-bye.